me?
She is. Hello, hello, and hello, everyone. Welcome to Soul Sparkle Radio. I am so excited that you're here, and also so excited to have my sweet friend Cameo Gore, who I just met a few weeks ago, but fell in love with very, very quickly. She's definitely a Soul Sparkle sister, and so happy to have you here, Cameo.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. This is so fun. So excited to connect with everyone today.
Yay. And just so you guys know a little bit about Cameo, she is a lifestyle and business success coach helping entrepreneurs impact the world using their gifts and talents. She has helped hundreds of clients either through her one-on-one coaching and healing and also through her Manifesting Miracles radio show, along with her events and retreats. Cameo believes in following your purpose to create a freedom-filled lifestyle while working with soulmate clients. She has 20 years of leadership and business experience and a background in energy healing. She's a certified shamanic healer, and she helps her clients laser focus into the greater vision of who they really are meant to be in the world. Wow. Basically all my favorite things. I love it. Welcome, Cameo.
Thank you. Thank you. So excited to be here. And yeah, it's amazing reading that and hearing that, right? Because it's true. And when we're laser focused on what it is that we want to create, that's what we actually manifest. So this is what this is all about.
Such a fun game, right? I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Love for you to share with us and our Soul Sparkle listeners what makes your soul sparkle? What lights you up from the inside out?
Yeah, so what really makes me, and I mean, this comes from and what I feel like purpose is. I left a real high-powered corporate position, and what I found that it wasn't working for me, it was the level of connection that I got to have on a corporate level wasn't the same as the level of connection that I could work with someone one-on-one or work with someone from a soul level. And so what really makes me sparkle is the soul connection of people coming together to create new things and different things. And at the same time, it's seeing and witnessing and also helping with transformation. Because we're all here on earth for a short period of time and we're meant to have the most amazing life possible. And so it's important to witness and be involved in transformation, both personally, like in my life, it's been incredible because it's given me a platform and to live a life that I really love. And I think that is what we're here to do. So the transformation and witnessing that in my clients and the retreats and my radio show and all the different things that I do, that's why I do it, because that lights me up like nothing else. When the light bulb goes off and we see that there's new possibilities and new things that we can just instantly have if we change our mindset and up level to create new energy around whatever we want to manifest, that lights me up, because then when we tap into that potential, we can have anything we want. So that makes us really powerful, right? So that's yeah.
And I think more and more people are starting to tune into that power and to the knowledge that that's available to them. I think for a long time, people didn't feel like they had any control over any of their circumstances or anything that they were experiencing. And now I think that tide is turning. Would you agree that maybe more and more people are starting to feel like, wow, I am the boss of me. Like I am creating this, right? So I love that.
Yeah, I witness more and more people stepping into their personal power to create the life that they actually want instead of just living whatever is in front of them. So I think it's just an evolution of consciousness that's honestly happening, and it's allowing us to step into greater potential, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's the fun part. That's where we get to create.
Yeah, well, that's where the magic is, frankly, right? So we talk a lot on the show about creating a magical life, and you are a wonderful example of making a pretty significant transition. I mean, you had a huge job, a huge amount of responsibility, set steady paycheck, all those things that come along with that kind of opportunity that you're in. And then to leave all of that and to create this now next chapter and iteration of your life, that's really it's scary because I've done it too. So I get that you have to be pretty brave to step outside of that comfort zone. Was there one specific thing or anything that happened that maybe made you just say, you know what, this isn't the life that I had planned for myself, and I want to take a new twist and turn and chapter? Was there something specific that you want to share around that?
There's several things. Number one, I had always wanted to have a very powerful executive career. I'd always seen that vision from a young age. And I was, at under 40, really in a position that, there were not very many people doing what I did at that age. And this was, a while ago. And when I can remember sitting in my office one day, and my employees, they liked me because I really did have their back, and I wasn't just a paper pusher. I cared about people, and they could feel that. But I just realized that some of the struggles that they were going through, I wanted to help people on a different level, and on a level that potentially in corporate environment would not have been like, my boss would not have been super excited about that, right?
Right.
So, because it's all about, this is how it is, corporate structure, which is, and I was ready to have the impact on people on a soul level, on growth and transformation on a whole nother realm. So that was one part of it. And the other part of it is, at the same time, I was born very intuitive. And through, years of social programming and conditioning had turned a lot of that off to just survive in the world. But what happened is that my intuitive capabilities came back so strongly. And I worked in actually a pediatric hospital. So what was happening for me is that I was accessing different information that was not a great, I didn't really know what to do with it all at first. And then I realized that these were messages that were coming to me about my true life purpose, and what it was that I was really meant to do was something different than where I was at. So it was a little bit of a stressful time for me because I knew I had to make that change, but I got support. I hired a coach, and basically was able to leave that position and create what I wanted, and what I wanted my business to look like, and how I wanted to help people. And that's been very rewarding for me. But the intuitive part, right, is the following your gut. And that's the magic. Because when we have a gut feeling about something and we feel it on a visceral level, if we're paying attention, we can make these quantum leaps in our life to access a new dimension of reality, right? And begin living a life that's really in alignment with your dream. And that was the moment when I realized that I was like, oh, I can do this. Like, I don't have to stay doing the same thing day after day. I can listen to this intuitive feeling and also all the messages that I was getting at the time and make a change. So that's kind of a long answer, but it's kind of magical.
Perfect. And exactly what we love to talk about, because I love what you said about, first of all, listening, like understanding what those intuitive hits are, like being aware enough to know, wow, that's a message that I think I need to listen to. And then being willing to listen, because I think a lot of times we know that we either hear it or we get those messages, but we disregard them, or we question it. Like we say, well, maybe I'm just afraid. Maybe that's fear talking, not intuition. Right. I think a lot of people are confused by that, the difference between the two. And maybe if you have any thoughts around that, because sometimes, you think, am I just being afraid? Like, am I being afraid and that's why that's showing up? Or is this truly an inkling or a guidance that I need to pay attention to and follow?
Yeah, I think that I love this. And I love talking about and teaching on intuition. I think I think everyone's born with intuition of different levels. And the more we work on our intuitive awareness and development, the more we can use it as a tool or a resource to help guide us to our best possible life. And yeah, what I think, fear is always there. It's there to keep us safe and in a place, from a very basic level, the safety. And I like to look at feelings at where they're located in your body. So this is the process that with my clients and with myself, I know whether or not things are intuitive or if they're real. I'm going to fear to stay away from this as where the emotions are actually showing up in my body. So sometimes if things are really noisy, it can be in the head, it can be in the heart, it can be in the gut. And I think the more you work on where your actual emotions are located in your body, you can learn to disseminate what is true fear of like, no, I'm going to stay away from that. That is not the best thing, versus reaching for higher guidance, which if you guys know anything about the chakra system, your higher guidance is, comes through your crown chakra, and you can begin to actually feel that energy in a different way. So that's kind of a long explanation. But usually if we really want something, we feel it strongly. It's like a little voice. That might be very small, but it's just taking a moment and saying, I hear you. And that's really the first step. And, even as an experienced entrepreneur now and doing my work, this shows up all the time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't like you ever get this and you're 100% done with it, right? If you're taking that step and walking out of corporate, or if you're leveling your business, or if you're, looking for guidance around relationships or any of this, this is the number one tool that we have to guide us. And that's why, Source, God, the universe gave us this as a gift to help it direct us into what it is that we're meant for. So for as far as fear goes, I think that for some levels of fear, it's worth exploring. Is this mine? Is this because I'm making a story? Or is this because I'm projecting? Or is this because I'm afraid that I'll fail? And it's really going through and asking these questions, and then understanding, why is it that I'm feeling this? And in some cases, fear's good, right? It keeps us away from repeating negative patterns, perhaps, and things as well. So yeah, this is just such an important topic, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel like one of the things that I've been working with that seems to be working in a light and easy and expansive way is to follow my highest excitement. Like, what am I most excited about, right? And that seems to be the thing that leads me to literally feeling like I'm like life on a magic carpet ride. It's like the highest excitement keeps me most energized, most enthusiastic. And then that's when I get myself to a vibration or like a frequency of calling in all of the things that I need then to support that execution of whatever that idea, that thought, that inspiration was. So I don't know if that's something that you work with as well, but that has been really a beautiful way for me to stay in tune with what I'm feeling intuitively called to do, is that I'm excited about it. And I think even in relationships, or even in a decision, you have to make a decision between two things, two schools, two dates, two whatever, right? What are you most excited about? What's the thing that you're most excited about? And that typically is, if that's the thing, then that's the right answer for you. I don't know if that is something that you work with, but that's really fun for me to explore that concept.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. I don't know. I kind of have a scale, and the scale is of emotions, right? And at the very bottom of the scale of emotions, the ones that keep us stuck and vibrating in a place where we're not magnetically attracting our desires, are like fear, doubt, and shame. And the ones at the top, anything like love or higher, is an energy that will bring us like a magic carpet ride, like the energy of abundance. That's where the things that we desire can actually reach us. Mm-hmm. So in our process, it's looking at those lower levels of those emotions and finding ways that we can clear those as well, and keep that energy clear from our own existence, right? So that we can just easily operate in the higher levels of love and above. And that is the place of manifestation. That's where things effortlessly flow, and you're not stuck in these lower vibrational patterns. But I love that the simplicity of just saying, whatever I don't like, drop it out of my field. And whatever I do like and feels exciting, like that's what I'm going to do. Right. It's perfect. I mean, yeah, I love it. And I think that some of the most amazing things can be manifested this way, right? Where it's not struggle, it's just receiving.
Yeah, I feel like that is where a lot of us think in our minds that we have to struggle, we have to suffer, it has to be hard, all of those things, right? So the truth is, I don't believe that that's true anymore for us. Like, I think maybe obviously we've all gone through our fair share of things, of suffering, of sadness, but those have been provided to us for our growth, for the soul's evolution of where we need to be now. And I think at some point, once we can get to that place of releasing the attachment to outcome and all of those things that keep us in doubt, shame, guilt, judgment, whatever those lower level things are, when we can allow ourselves to stay in that higher vibration, there is no more suffering, there is no more sadness, right? For me, at least, and I don't know if you would agree, but I have felt a transformation for me in believing the statement that things happen for me, not to me. Everything is happening for me, not to me. That completely shifts the mindset into one of like, okay, this is happening for my growth, and I'm going to appreciate it and have gratitude for it versus get attached to whatever the meaning of it, like you said, the story, right? And allowing things to know that things always work out for us. Ththings always work out for us.
They always do.
Knowing that that's feels really, really expansive and feels much more. All of these old thoughts and beliefs that I used to have around, oh, well, this is wrong, or it's got to be a certain way. And now it just feels a lot more available to create more magic in our lives by allowing that freedom and that ease and grace versus suffering. So.
Oh, it's so true. And so I think that when we are in a state of suffering, though, the fastest way, or one of the ways to quantum leap out of that so that we can be in that expansive feeling, is to ask ourselves, what story am I creating from this? What story am I in now? Because we're running multiple scripts all the time. And so the mindfulness of where we're at as far as what our thoughts are creating, because our thoughts are then creating the emotion. So if we're feeling like down or whatever it is, it's connecting all of these dots together so that you have a greater understanding of consciousness of what's happening inside of you. And then, obviously that's about the co-creation on the outside. But I always say that, like, we can't co-create, we can't make the things happen on the outside if our inside is not connected. So it's just from an energy perspective, because I see energy and I read energy and all of those things. Like I see it that if you like to meditate, or you're in a meditative process, what I love, and I think it's a powerful way to manifest, is an alignment of whatever you're thinking to whatever you're speaking to whatever you're feeling. So it's like this triangle that comes out in front and connects in front of you. So when one of these is off, or if it's out of whack, right? Like if we're feeling one way, but we're thinking and we're speaking another, then it's harder for the universe to manifest those things into our life. But if we're sitting in a meditation and we're saying, okay, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this vision of what I'm creating. I'm speaking as if that's happening for me. Okay, so I'm putting myself in that vibration of speaking about what I'm seeing. Like it's going to happen, right? I'm not bad talking myself or saying I'm never going to make this happen or whatever. And I'm also feeling the vibration in my heart of this expansive love, and just feeling that it's right for me and that it feels good, and that would make me so excited, like you say. And all of these then can connect, and they can project. It's like a projector on a movie screen, and we start projecting more powerful images. And then the universe is like, oh yeah, I know what she's saying. I know what it is that she is wanting. It understands and can then give us back those vibrations of what we're projecting. And I think that that's such a powerful tool. so that we can connect to the higher realms of what it is that we want. And again, going back to what we want, like we want to live the best possible life. We want to live free and happy and do our important work in the world and have amazing freedom, right? To do and create and to do good work in the world. This isn't just about, this is about, I mean, from a big perspective, in my opinion, I like to work with people that are on a mission to change the world. The world needs people that are vibrationally aligned with this higher energy, so that we can make positive change happen. And yeah, so yeah.
I love it. That's exactly why, that's why we're doing Soul Sparkle Radio, so we can help more people create a life that they absolutely love, right? So that way they can be lit up from the inside out, that they can allow themselves to receive everything that they desire. Because the more of us that can cross over into doing life in that way, the more light and love we're going to bring to the world. More joy, more abundance, more magic, more sparkles. Woo.
And who doesn't want to live in a life like that, right?
I know, right? I know. So I think I could talk to you all day, and we might have to do this again, but I would love to hear a little more around just kind of the specifics of your work right now. Like, how are you working with people? I know you have events that are happening, and also your own radio show. Can you share with us maybe how you're serving right now, so we can get more information if they need it?
Yeah, totally. So, well, number one, I do one-on-one coaching. Really helping people to launch their work into the world and create profit doing their mission-based work, right? So people that want to create a thriving lifestyle and freedom-based business that will allow them to shape the world in the way that I've described, right? So that's a combination of mindset. I have a money course, and it's also just one-on-one strategy and coaching as far as getting more visible and finding those soulmate clients to work with. On another level, I also work with clients just to develop their intuition around their work so that it can be easy and it can be in a state of receiving instead of just this constant hustle around growing their business. So that's one way. And then the other piece, I've only got 2 spots left, but I do retreats every year, and I go to Sedona. It's a magical place. The energy there is just incredible for manifesting, and allows us to be in a really beautiful environment. But this year, we've only got 2 spots left. And the name of this retreat is the Red Rock Empowerment Retreat. And we work with vortex energy, which is amazing. Sedona's got a lot of vortexes, and I bring in some really cool healers that I've worked with over the period of 10 years of me going to Sedona. And the reason why I go to Sedona, and this is kind of a cool story, is that, about over 10 years ago was my first trip to Sedona. And I was at a really pivotal point in my life. I was going through a horrible breakup. I was basically ended an engagement. And I was pretty miserable. It was like the dark night of the soul. This was, I don't know, I think it was probably about 12 years ago at this point. But I can remember being at my work and asking God, like the universe, what do I do? What can I do? Like I feel so bad, and I don't know what to do. And this is the intuitive part. What I heard was soul adventure. I'm like, soul adventure? And so I opened up Google and typed in soul adventure. Well, I was off to a soul adventure in Sedona, and it really changed my life. And I realized before I went that I had to stop repeating the patterns of my life that weren't working. Like, it's like Einstein says, doing the same thing over and over again is a definition of insanity. Well, I had gone insane. Like I was
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because I was picking the wrong guy all the time, right? And I said, I'm going to break this. I'm going to be done with it, and I'm going to change my life. And it was just like that moment. And so I knew I had to do something big. So that was the first time I went to Sedona. And what happened for me was that I understood manifesting in a whole different way where it involves energy alignment. And this is kind of what I use for my own manifesting and how I work with clients and stuff. But what happened as a result of this trip, I got so crystal clear on what I wanted to create. And I did, some certain processing. I met my husband, who I've now been married to for over 10 years, the next day on stepping off of a plane in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And that was the main reason why I wanted to do this, because I had to change and shift this so I could have that love that I wanted. And that was so magical for me, because that was a wake-up call that I created that. I made that happen. I called that in and aligned my energy to receive that. And now that we've been married 10 years, sometimes I have to remind myself of this. I actually created this. 10 years is like a completely different space now. But, at that time it was like, he's amazing. But, I joke. But, like the manifestation process is so powerful. And so when this all happened, I got messages that you're going to be back with people showing them this work, and you're going to do this. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Cause obviously I was still in corporate and all that at the time. And so sure enough, like this is our second year of doing these retreats in Sedona. And, last year everyone was like, this is a 5 out of 5 stars, like straight down the line with the lineup and the workshop. And we bring in different healers. It's just really packed. And it's also with amazing information, and it's also in a 5-star luxury spa. So we get plenty of
been in that place for years, by the way. So I've never been there, but I've always wanted to go to that particular place. So
yeah. It's stuff. And I just find also that the connections of spending that time together, that sisterhood, that connection, and you understand this because of the things that you do, the Soul Sparkle events, right? That just, like that vibration of being in that space with people is amazing, and it can change your life with the new connections and friendships that are made in that sacred space. It's really powerful. So yeah, that was such a long explanation, but I just had to get in there the magic of manifesting, and Sedona is a great place for that.
That's perfect. And I totally echo and understand the idea of sacred spaces and literally places that just make you light up. Like that's why I live in San Diego. I've wanted to live here for years. Like this is where I am at my happiest. Like my soul sparkles like nowhere else when I'm in San Diego. Like I told you before we started the interview that I was supposed to be in Hawaii right now. And I'm like, why go to Hawaii? Like I don't even need to go because I already live in a place that feels like paradise to me, right? Jason Mraz has one line and then we can wrap up. But in one of his songs, it says, you don't need a vacation when there's nothing to escape from.
Love that.
Love that. What if we could all create lives that we didn't need to take a vacation from? Like we could internalize the idea that we don't have anything to escape from. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I love the work that you're doing in the world. Is there any last bit of advice or tip or anything that you want to leave our listeners with before we close out?
Oh, it's just to reach and dream and believe big. It's just as easy to think big thoughts about what you want than it is to think small thoughts. So choose the big ones. And, we're unlimited potential in a bottle. So it's just a question of just reaching up and saying, yeah, I see this for myself. And that's where big changes start, from just a single decision. And that's what I love.
Yeah, so I love that you say that, because it's, I was asked recently, what is the first step people need to take? Like if you were to give them one step to begin a path to creating a more magical life, what would you say? And I have two thoughts. One is getting really, really clear on what you desire. But the main one is believing that it's possible, right? Yeah. So you have to believe that it's available to you. So I love your example of sharing, where you were and now where you are, based on being brave enough to dream a new dream for yourself and for your life. So
yeah. And it doesn't have to take forever, right?
Yep.
It can happen quickly when we allow it. So
yeah, and that's really what I talk a lot about, is just you can change your entire life in a year, like in less, I would say less than a year, but just to be, expansive, like in a year's time, you can really change everything. So that's really what I'm on a mission to do, is help as many people as possible figure out what life they want to create. And then, man, in 12 months time, you can have it. So I love it.
I love that.
Here.
Thank you.
I can't wait to,
yeah. I'm so thankful that we met. And just thank you for having me on.
Thank you. And thank you all to our Soul Sparklers for joining us today. And I hope you have a magical day. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Mwah.